Howdy guys, welcome back to another video. On this one, I've repaired both the front and rear little bar filler panel things for the XB Coupe, and I thought I'd put them in primer in this video. I think it's about 6:30 at night on a Friday, and I thought I'd better stay back, get these things repaired. They only took a couple of hours, about an hour each, and got them all repaired, dead straight, ready for some HS primer by DNA Paints. Who would have guessed? So, what have I done today or this week? Painted a blue monsoon Keeney base coat. That video is actually live right now. Go check that video out. I'll put a link in the description if you want to see that. It's probably not the most in-your-face colour. It's definitely beautiful. It's a very nice blue Keeney base coat. Is it something that I personally like? Not really. But I was pretty hyped about painting that colour because it's literally the last Keeney base coat out of all the Keeney base coats that I had to paint. I've literally painted every Keeney colours and every Keeney base coat now by DNA Paints, and yeah, it's pretty cool. It's a bit of a tick off the box, you know. But anyway, so blue monsoon video, and I've just recorded a big video all about virtual and black chrome. So here we have, I did paint a guard, but it's in the office at the moment. But here's some virtual chrome, which I've painted in that video. So I'll probably pull these out of the booth in a minute, or move them to the back. So these two here are black chrome. So if you put them side by side, you can see the difference between them. One's a little bit lighter than the other, but yeah, that's virtual chrome and black chrome. So that's what I got done this week. It took a fair bit of time to film that video, and a lot of information went into that. So if you want a really detailed video on virtual chrome, go check that video out. I go into literally everything that is involved, from gun setup to spray distance from the panel to flash off times, you name it, it's all in that video. So anyway, I'm going to set up a stand. We'll get that stand, we'll throw it over here somewhere, and bring the bars in, and we'll show you what they look like. Alrighty, so here's the bars. We've got the front one and we've got the rear one. So if you haven't seen my last video on these bars, there'll be a link in your top right hand corner. The title of the video is how to prep sandblasted panels for epoxy primer. So that was the last basically part that you would have seen on these parts. I think we all knew this one needed a full skim over it, and I've basically blocked it all down. I've put another skim over it. I actually repaired it in 2 skims. You can actually see the 2 different colors there where I've repaired it. This one, I've done it in 1 skim. I mean, when I epoxy, actually I think I did put 2 in some areas. It was pretty much 1 from that side all the way to about here, and then I put another skim over that just there. You can kind of see the color difference. But yeah, so just to give you a rundown what I've done, I've blocked it down with 120 on a big kid block, the straight shooter I think it's called. So that really highlighted where all the highs and lows are. I've basically put a skim over it and basically blocked it down, going down through all the grits of sandpaper. So I started with 40, I went straight to 80 grit, then 120, 180, and then 240. So I've gone down through all the grits. There's no big deep scratches in any of the filler anywhere. It's all ready for primer. So the front one needed a bit of work. Like, it was pretty mangled. Like, I don't know if you've seen the last video, but I mean, look at the inside. I don't know if that's coming up on camera or not, but it's mangled, absolutely mangled. So that's why this one looks the way it does, and this one here is actually in pretty good nick. So yeah, so all that's left to do, you would have seen on this side, we've got quite a few shiny areas. So all that's left to do on both of them is to give it a quick red Scotch Brite, and that will basically scuff up all the non-sanded epoxy primer. And we'll mix up our HS primer by DNA Paints 4:1 with about 10% of reducer. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. So we'll set the camera up, and we'll quickly scotchy these, turn the booth on, get some heat in this booth, and we'll get them in primer. so in regards to the rest of the parts I've got to paint for the coupe, we've got a heap of rubbish in here because I get slack. So this is the upright for the bonnet latch, so that's going to go black. We've got the front nose panels for the guards, so they're already primed, ready to be sanded. So we've got 2 of them, 1 for each guard. We've got these little things here, which are for, if you remember, if you watched my epoxy video last week, those black parts with the flutes, they sit in here. So these got to go orange. So we've got 2 of them. And we've got the nostrils for the bonnet. They need to go walnut glow as well. So we've got 2 of them. They looks like they're in steel. What we might do is put a etch prime over these first, and then put our wet and wet straight over the top. That will save us epoxying them. They're not actually made out of steel, so I don't think they are. They're like a cast steel, but there's no signs of rust on them whatsoever. So maybe they aren't steel. But yeah, so we've got those. And then we've got the mirrors. So plastic mirrors probably should have been primed. So what I'll probably do is sand them all back. Would have been nice if that mirror was to come out, but I don't think that comes. I don't want to break it either, so we're gonna have to be careful with these. But what I'll probably do with these is feather out all the old paint, smooth it all off. This would be acrylic, so you've got to be very careful. Ideally, you want to put these in primer. So what I might do, I might even prime these. I'll see how they go. I might just feather that edge out and sand it all down, feather out all the stone chips and stuff, and put a coat of wet and wet primer over it. That's pretty much the same as a high build primer, but mixed slightly different, just a little bit more reducer. So we'll just wet and wet these, I reckon. That way I'll be able to paint them in this video, and we'll be able to give them back to Mick next weekend. And yeah, happy days. So we've got 2 of them, and they're the tail lights, which need to go back to Mick as well. So we'll get all this out and we'll prep all this up. Our black's down, our white's down. It's time to start doing the walnut glow and the orange. So ideally, when you're painting a solid color and a metallic in the booth at the same time, if metallic particles were to land on the solid color, it would make that solid color sparkle when it's in the sunlight. Ideally, that's not what we want. So to save me painting one color, then the orange, then the walnut glow, then the orange, what I'm gonna do is paint all the walnut glow, get all the walnut glow painted, because if any small particles of overspray gets on the metallic, you're not gonna really see it. But if metallic particles land on the orange, you're definitely gonna see it. So I'll paint the walnut glow first, and then we'll do the burnt orange over the rest of everything. And also you'll notice where I've positioned everything in the booth, the stuff that's getting painted walnut glow is at the back of the booth, and the stuff that's getting painted orange is at the front of the booth. So that way I can paint the metallic. I'll paint that first, and then the rest of it will get overspray on it, but it's only going to be over the white, and you're not going to see it anyway by the time I put the orange down. So what I've done here is I've basically repeated what I've done on the car on these parts. So I put a white wet and wet primer down. I put 3 coats of white, 3 coats of orange, and that's what we're going to do now. And then we'll put our 3 coats of clear over the top. Alrighty, well there's our first coat of clear down. We'll mix up some more clear. And yeah, we'll smash it on. We'll let that sit now for roughly 10 minutes, roughly, around there. So 4 to 1, really easy. If you guys like the look of this clear coat, I'll put a link in the description so you guys can check it out. I wouldn't be using it and I wouldn't be working for the company if I didn't think it was bloody top-notch stuff. I've used DNA Paints products for about 7 years now and I love everything about it. So yeah, I'm not one of these guys that just puts any product up on their channel. If I think it's a load of rubbish, there's no way I'm gonna put it on cars that I do and ruin my reputation. So yeah, it's just one of those things. So same with products. If I don't feel that products are any good, there's no way I'm gonna either use them or tell you guys to use them, you know? But yeah, that's pretty much it. The custom clear is the bee's knees. So let that sit back in the booth now, warm up a little bit, and we'll put our second coat down.
Well guys, XB Coupe parts, all the little hang-on little fiddly bits are all done. Time to give them back to Mick and do a polishing video on the Coupe and do a catch-up video on the XB Coupe. Mick's got a heap done. I hear he's been putting it back together, glasses in and all sorts. So stay tuned for that video guys. Apart from that, I'll let you all go. Enjoy your weekend and I'll see you guys on the next one.